Oh my God, that National Association of Realtors settlement's about to take effect. It's going to change home buying forever. What does it all mean? Let's get into it. Hey guys, how you doing? Derek here from Simply Home. I'm the qualifying broker for the entire state of Michigan for the #1 fastest growing real estate company in the country, and I've got an all-star team of agents. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, rent, whatever you need, we've got you covered. We even do property management now. So I know it's been in the news a lot, and more people are starting to ask me about this settlement and what's going to change and all that. And so I figured it's about time to make a video about it. The changes are going to take effect in about 3 weeks. And so let's get down to the lowdown of what to expect as a seller and as a buyer. So first and foremost, the #1 question everybody has is, what is changing? The real answer is nobody knows yet because it hasn't changed, so we don't know exactly how things are going to work. But generally speaking, my read on it is there's not much that's going to change. A lot of it has to do with commission dollars, how they're allocated. Commission, if you're a really good, serious, professional agent who does this for a living, commission is the last thing that we really worry about, because the answer to that is always sell more houses if you're if you're not making enough money. So that out of the way, commissions have always been negotiable. They always have. So I think that was kind of a misconception, is one side has to get 3% or whatever. It's never been set in stone. It's always been 100% negotiable. So the way that we figure that out now is going to change a little bit. We'll get into that in a second. As far as us as real estate brokers and agents, in the MLS, the multi-list, we've always had to offer the buying broker a minimum of $1 commission. That now we don't. That's really the main change. So we'll get into the semantics of how that's going to look. But that's really been the thing, commission. That's the other thing on the MLS. Commission amounts aren't going to be advertised on the MLS anymore. So that used to be a thing. You click on a property, so and so is offering 2.5% to a buyer's agent. This house is offering 3. This other house is 2.75. This house is 3.1. Whatever the case may be, that's not going to be on the MLS anymore. And I believe it's now they've. For the past couple of years, that's been shown on Zillow and a couple of the other third-party sites as well. That's going away. And what that really means is that for us as agents and brokers, it's a little more legwork for us, but your experience as a consumer is pretty much going to be unchanged, I think. All right, so we're going to start with buyers and what it's going to look like from here on out. So from now on, as of August 17th, when this takes effect, as a home buyer, you're going to need to enter into a written agreement with an agent just to go see a house. If there's something that hits the market 2 doors down and you just are nosy and want to check it out, you're going to have to sign an agreement with an agent before they can open the door for you. And that's going to be anybody. It's not like my company is going to require that, but the company down the street won't. That's just going to be how it goes from now on, because that's part of the settlement. Department of Justice has mandated that. So that's you're going to have to sign something in writing. And what that's going to do is it'll outline that agent's responsibilities should you decide to move forward on that home. What they're going to do for you, what their services, what they won't do, and it also will outline what their commission amount is. So if that buyer's agent won't work for anything less than 3% commission, that's on there. If they're willing to work for less, that's on there too. But you guys are going to come to an agreement on that before you go and look at a house. And then what's implied in that is we're going to need to see what the seller's willing to pay. It's not going to be just on the MLS anymore. So we need to call that listing agent, see what they're willing to offer, and if there's a difference between what that buyer's agent expects to receive should the deal close as far as commission goes and what that seller is offering, now you, the buyer, are responsible for the difference. Now, the way I look at that is that empowers you as the buyer to decide which homes you want to go and see. I know the whole idea behind it was coming from the other direction, where there was some concern that buyers agents weren't representing buyers effectively enough because they were refusing to show homes that were offering less commission than others. I'm sure there's shady agents out there that have done that before. I would fire immediately any agent of mine that did that, but that's neither here nor there. But what it really does is it puts the decision in your hands now. So, you can decide, hey, this house, I kind of like it, but, they're offering less commission than what my agent is expecting to receive. Do I really want to see it or not? I mean, that's a decision for you to make, not your agent. So the way I see it is a good thing for buyers. Anytime there's more transparency in the process, I think is a good thing. I think other people are looking at it the other way, where it's kind of a bad thing. But for me, I like my clients to have as much say in every aspect of the decision making process as possible, and this does that. All right, now let's talk about how this is going to affect home sellers. So as sellers, you're not required to pay the buyer's agent any commission if you don't want to, but that's not really a change. That's always been the case. Even when we had to advertise, commission amounts on the MLS, and the MLS required a $1 of compensation to a buyer's agent. That wasn't coming from you necessarily. We as listing brokers had to offer that to the buyer's broker. So that was never really coming out of your pocket, but now it's really not, because that goes away. We're not required to offer any kind of commission whatsoever in order to list the house on the MLS. So my take on this whole thing, basically the whole genesis of this, settlement / lawsuit / change in all the rules and everything. The whole genesis of it is he had a handful of home sellers in Missouri that felt that they were not represented effectively by their agent. They got mad at the industry, sued all of real estate, and managed to win. And now here we are dealing with the consequences. In my opinion, and this is my opinion, the way that we had it before was, it wasn't a perfect system, but it was a system that treated sellers and buyers pretty equitably. It was pretty transparent, and whether or not people liked it or not, it is what it is. But it was able to effectively address buyer representation. This lawsuit and the settlement doesn't really take buyers into account. So the end result, in my opinion, I think what's going to happen is it's not going to change a whole lot for sellers, but buyers are going to bear the brunt of this. They're not going to be able to be represented quite as effectively as before. And the reason why I say that is because buyers knew, up until August 17th of 2024, that they could go out and interview the top agent in their market. They could interview 100 agents, pick the one that's the absolute right fit for them, and know that when the deal closes and they get their dream home, that commission isn't coming out of their pocket. Well, that might not be the case anymore. That's really the main difference. That being said, I will say this: the big lenders like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all the big guys are changing their rules to allow for seller concessions to cover buyer's agent commission. So it's really, with that added in, doesn't change things all that much, really, because the buyer's agent commission was always getting paid out of the transaction. So now it's still getting paid out of the transaction. And, I guess to make that a little bit easier to understand, usually, like, seller concessions are seller paid closing costs. So if you're looking to purchase a home, we'll just make it easy, for $100,000, you get it under contract, and you're paying your own closing costs at $100,000. Say something changes, or your circumstances change, or whatever the case may be, and now all of a sudden you need the seller to pay your closing costs, but say the seller is not willing to take any less than $100,000. Now you can raise the price to 103 and get 3% back, or $3,000 back to cover your closing costs. Now they've done it to where you can raise it to 106. and 3% goes to the agent for their commission, 3% goes to your closing costs. Everybody's happy, deal closes. So that's how that's going to be structured. Now the one type of mortgage where it's still a little bit up in the air, and this I hope they get this figured out, is VA buyers. So we're talking veterans that have literally put their life on the line for our country. VA rules state that the borrower is not allowed to pay for anything out of pocket. So that goes all the way down to like paying $95 for a pest inspection. They don't allow that. They're not allowed to pay for. There's certain costs that they're not allowed to pay for. So VA finally came around, and on a trial basis, they're allowing seller concessions to pay for the buyer's agent. And they're actually, I think they're allowing the buyer to pay out of pocket directly for it, which I hope they make that permanent, because that really doesn't sit well with me at all. Somebody who deserves like the most deference in terms of home buying, we're putting all these roadblocks in their way. That I just don't like that. So as of right now, I think that's been resolved, at least on a temporary basis. Hopefully it becomes permanent, because every home buyer needs the ability to know that they're going to be able to get into the home that they want, and with the least amount of stress and headache. And then where does that leave us as an industry? As I've been in this business 21 years, I've seen it operates vastly different than it did when I got into the business, with all this new technology that we have. The way that we search for homes, the way that we interact with our clients is completely different. And in order to stay competitive and at the top level of this business for that long, you have to be resilient. So as an industry, we do a pretty good job of adapting to changes, and I don't see this as being any different. And again, I have to reemphasize, this is all hypothetical, because this hasn't taken effect yet. It's going to be a couple weeks or 3 weeks, and then we'll kind of know exactly the route things are going. There's going to be a little bit of uncertainty at first. There's going to, like any major change to any industry, there's going to be a little period of feeling things out until we regain our equilibrium. But at the end of the day, home sellers still need to sell their homes. Home buyers still need to buy a home, and it's our job to make that happen for them. So we're going to be just fine. We're going to find our footing. It'll be back to business as usual before too long. You probably take a couple months, but this isn't some seismic shift in the way that home buyers buy homes or home sellers sell homes. At the end of the day, if you want to work with an agent, the process is going to be arguably a little more transparent for you as the consumer. It's going to be a little bit more work for us. We'll adapt. It's no big deal. We're used to hard work, and we'll be fine. And if I can leave you with anything out of this video, it's that no matter what happens, you can always rest assured that myself and my agents are always going to provide you with the exceptional professional advice and service that you've come to expect from us. So that's not going to change at all. No matter what they throw at us, that if we don't do that, there's no point in us doing anything else, because nobody's going to use us. So yeah, whether you're looking to buy or whether you're looking to sell, reach out to us. We're going to take great care of you. And as always, my direct line is 586-491-5622. Call or text anytime. You can also reach me at 248-561-6155. New email address, Werenka@simplyhome.com. And you can always reach me at the old one too, dwerenka@m1realty.net. I'm going to keep that up for probably forever. And Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, I'm on it. So reach out. I'll respond quick, give you accurate information that you expect me to. And thanks again, guys. We will talk next week. If there's anything else any questions on any of this, you can always reach out, let me know. Or anything else, any other videos you want to see, just let me know, and I'll get right on it. And again, thanks so much, guys. Look forward to talking to you next week, and we'll keep you updated on all these changes as they come. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.